Hey, I'm Grump.
I'm not so grump.
And
Is that
where
how
are
it
the
goes?
controversies?
Is that how that goes?
What? Game Grumps?
The Game Grumps? I've never watched Game Grumps.
It's like, hey, I'm Grump. I'm not so Grump. And where are the Game Grumps?
Okay.
Yeah.
I know
Um,
that first bit, but I
yeah,
guess that's just osmosis through being on the internet.
really it is. Did you hear about the new Game Grumps controversy?
No. Is it JonTron? Because
No,
that would be not off brand.
you would think, but it's actually the guy that replaced John this time.
Hey, look at that. Ooh. Oh, that's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. What you see in there, bud?
Apparently Game Grumps host David Avidan has been accused of grooming underage fans.
Yeah. That is a can of hot worms. And I'm pretty much here just kicking the
Hmm.
hornet's nest so that we can get the controversy.
Yeah, I hadn't heard about this.
Oh, it
Is
was
this related to the other thing I was seeing?
what other thing you were seeing?
So apparently, David Dobrik, who is a YouTube vlogger influencer type, has stepped down from his position on an app that he helped develop called Spark Capital. I think I actually don't. Apparently, I really don't know because they don't say what it says. He has stepped down from an app he co-founded following a rape allegation about his former associate. They also say he's a YouTube star, but they don't say what app he actually founded that he stepped down from. I mean, it's not YouTube. He didn't
Yeah.
make YouTube. David Dobrik didn't make fucking YouTube.
Hmm. That is weird.
He launched his own photo app, Dispo. Okay.
Dispo? Like a disposition?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Apparently, a bunch of
Interesting.
brands have dropped him. I don't know. This is something completely different, though, so we'll skip that. This is much bigger.
What, the Dan thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, can Game Grumps just go a year without a controversy?
It doesn't seem like it.
Like, have you? There's like a whole iceberg of Game Grumps controversies that I've seen.
Not so Grumpgate.
Not so Grumpgate. Oh, do you want to know what the legend JonTron posted after this all came out?
What's that?
Does that mean we can finally finish our Sonic 06 playthrough?
Oof.
Ouch.
Oof.
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 Oh. So, which one of us is going to be the one that starts controversies?
I don't know. I mean, ideally neither, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, like, are you even on YouTube if you don't cause trouble for other people?
Not wrong.
I think it's going to be me. Watch.
What?
Yeah, watch. In a couple of years when people go back on, like, through our episodes, they're going to be like, he called it. He was doing it back then. He knew. He knew we were going to catch him one of these days. But yeah. Uh,
So
I
I do think we need to address the elephant in the room,
There's an
or
elephant.
rather, the ominous black bars
Oh yeah, on the screen.
on the screen.
Okay, I just want everybody to know I'm the artsy type. I'm the kind of person that has a very direct vision for my
Mm.
program.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
decided that, there's so
You know,
many.
people are more vertical. It doesn't make sense to have all this space on the sides when you can capture the people.
What really is a rectangle? 16 by 9? No, no, no.
No.
4 by 3.
Only if you're some sort of plebeian who watches non-IMAX movies. Only IMAX here.
Only IMAX. I want our show to be broadcasted in an IMAX.
Yes.
This is the IMAX episode. So,
Where to
IMAX.
even start?
It's the Snyder Cut, baby.
It's the Snyder Cut.
Oh boy.
I don't know how this has such a high audience score.
Because people literally begged Warner Brothers for this. If they didn't
Oh,
get
okay. So yeah, it is literally just people sucking off Zack Snyder on the internet. Like, I'm not even joking. Visually stunning and thrillingly dark, the Snyder Cut is an ambitious and admirable cinematic experience. Someone actually typed those words out and sent it in as an audience review.
it's a superhero movie.
It's not even a good one though. It's the Snyder Cut is not good.
You've seen
You
it?
can take. I've seen it. Yeah, I watched all fucking 4 hours of it. It's not good. It's just not. I tweeted a few things out as I was watching it with just my immediate thoughts. And
Yeah.
the film has stuck with me so little that I'm having to go back to Twitter to look at what I tweeted because I can't remember.
Oh no.
It was that boring.
That, okay, that's the problem I have with just a 4-hour movie in general.
Right. Like, I don't think anyone involved with this film, DC, Warner Brothers, HBO, it doesn't matter who it was who did this. They're absolutely right. You can't release a 4-hour superhero movie at all. I've seen people try to make parallels to other things. There's one particularly notable film that I saw brought up a couple of times. It was where someone was like, you really can't just make a 4-hour movie, and this person's like, well, what about blank? And it's like, it's not quite 4 hours. It's like 3 hours and 57 minutes, but it's a drama. It's a completely different thing. It's meant to be, telling a deep emotional story, not this.
Could you give us like a summary of what you experienced?
Slow motion.
What?
Lots and lots of slow mo. I'm not kidding. I without I will also say this. It's important to know. Lois Lane is sad.
What?
There is so much slow motion in this movie. Just me, with my shitty video tools and skills, I could probably cut 30 minutes out just by taking certain scenes and making them not slow motion where they don't need to be.
Okay.
It is completely over the top. Lois Lane is sad. And it detracts from the Flash because his whole thing is that he's fast and everything moves slowly around him.
Oh
So
my
when you
gosh.
have
They did
every
not-
single character
No.
being shown in slow motion, it makes the Flash's slow motion feel less impressive. Which is why they have to have all these freaking lightning bolts going all over the goddamn place to remind you that this is not normal slow motion. This is the Flash's slow motion. It's different.
Oh no.
And then Superman gets brought back from the dead and Lois Lane isn't sad anymore. And I say that because they had 4 fucking scenes with Lois Lane in it. 3 of them served no purpose other than to establish the fact that she is sad that Superman is dead. And the 4th is to establish that she is no longer sad that Superman is dead. And that's it.
That's poetry. I don't know what you're talking about. Stanzas.
It's fucking awful. And like right there, you could cut at the bare minimum, you can cut 2 of the Lois's sad scenes out and get like 10 minutes back.
No way.
It's just pointless. We don't need to see Lois Lane moping around with her black umbrella in her darkened apartment, sorting through pictures and belongings of her dead boyfriend 3 times. We can do it once and get the point because we're not children.
Well, it's a long movie. You might need to be reminded.
Yeah. The other thing that I'm genuinely angry about is how hard of a bait and switch they just did with the trailer.
Okay, go on.
Because the trailer, Zack Snyder Cut trailer number 2, that's the one that got all the fucking buzz. Because it has Joker saying, "We live in a society, Batman."
Go on.
Do you know when that happens in the movie? During the runtime?
I'm guessing pretty late in the game.
It doesn't.
What?
Joker does not say, "We live in a society." He just doesn't.
What?
He doesn't say it at all in the whole movie. And it is at the end when Joker finally does come in for about a 10-minute scene that does nothing other than to set up the fact that more than one reality apparently exists.
Wait,
Yes, your confusion is completely justified because the average person who is like not ingrained in any particular fantasy genre, who's just seeing this because it's a summer blockbuster, it's a big action movie, would be completely fucking lost because it comes out of nowhere. As far as I can tell, I don't even know if this is true. I can't be fucked to look it up and see if this is true. As far as I can tell, the entire idea of that sort of ruined Metropolis Gotham scene with the Joker in it is that there are apparently two versions of the reality that exists. One, in both of them, Superman dies. One of them, Lois Lane also dies. So in the reality that Justice League happens, Lois Lane lives. They bring Superman back from the dead, which is, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a spoiler. It's a 4-year-old movie. Fuck you if you think you're not going to get spoilers in this. They bring Superman back from the dead, and it's Lois Lane who's able to bring him back to his senses because, the guy's been fucking dead, so he comes back to life and he doesn't know what the hell's going on. But, it's his love, so whatever. Who gives a shit? And Batman basically says that, I don't know why, but I keep having these dreams, and I feel like it's just something with Lois Lane that's the key to everything, or whatever the hell.
What the heck?
And then it's heavily implied in this basically post-credits scene that finally has Jared Leto as the Joker, it's like impossibly giving a worse performance than Suicide Squad. I didn't think that was possible, but he fucking managed it. Like, that should be noteworthy on its own. It's implied that because Lois died in this other version of reality, Superman comes back from the dead, loses his shit, and just starts murdering everyone.
Because Lois is dead?
Because Lois is dead. So he's not Superman at that point, he's just like generic OP Kryptonian boy who doesn't know what the hell is going on and just starts murdering everything.
So it becomes Zod.
Basically, yes.
Oh my gosh.
The other part, that's the main thing, is that they have this scene, they have these lines of dialogue in the trailer that just don't happen in the movie. They bait you in with this possible thing that they basically say is going to happen because it's in the trailer, and then they don't do it. And then the other part is at the end of it, they set up Martian Manhunter, which I feel like they probably did in the first one, but I don't know. It's at the very end of the film. Batman's in his literal, I think this is hilarious. Batman literally lives in a glass house. And then kind of pisses me off the way that they shot this. This might just be the Snyder Cut thing with its sepia gray scale bullshit. But there's this guy who floats down sort of Superman style, and Batman's just he literally has just rolled out of bed and he's all disheveled and he looks like he does not give a shit. And I'll say that is one thing I really like about this Batman, is that he looks exactly as tired as a real human in his circumstance. No superpowers. He doesn't have superpowers. He's a real dude. He's just got a lot of money. He looks exactly as tired as he should. And he looks fucking tired, and I enjoyed that bit of realism. But the guy floats down, and because of the lighting, his face looks gray. It looks flat gray, and he's got these red highlights on it, which does not look like the, Martian Manhunter that they always showed in the comics. Martian Manhunter in the comics is always very green.
Very green.
And so you got this guy who floats down, gray as ash skin, and, they have this very brief exchange, and he basically says that he wants to help, and, Batman's like, all right, I'll be in touch or whatever. You're a fucking alien. How can I do? And he turns to float away, and as he says, Batman asks, what do I call you? And he's like, they call me Martian Manhunter or something like that. And then he turns around and you can see it's, green. But it's very clearly intentionally graded so he doesn't look green, which is kind of dumb. Let people be excited because they know things. You
Yeah.
know, if you
Yeah.
can see this green dude floating from the sky and you'd be like, oh my god, that's Martian Manhunter. Let people have that.
Oh yeah.
Don't trick them into thinking it might be someone else by changing the fucking color grading of your movie. It doesn't help.
So I have so many
I'm angry.
questions about this film.
I'm so angry.
Yeah, you seem very angry.
It's such. The thing that makes me the most angry about this is because they could have done this and just had it be like nothing, like any other director's cut release. But they made the choice to advertise the shit out of this on social media.
Yes.
Like it's a real release.
Yeah. Like
And
it's
it's
its
just
own
not.
standalone.
It's not. They took a pile of shit that was 2.5 hours long and they spread it thinner over 4 hours. But you're still just moving shit around.
So how do they get it to be 4 hours? Like realistically, what are they doing to extend the story?
So I can't say particularly because, it's been 4 years since Justice League came out,
Yes.
and I've not seen it in its entirety. From what I understand, they did a lot more with Cyborg's storyline. And they did a good job of that.
Did they?
Um, Cyborg actually does have a really good storyline to set up his character.
Okay.
It's not great, it's not perfect, but it is good. Knowing the circumstances being that they're trying to jump into, an Avengers type thing without the setup, it makes you give a shit about Cyborg to an extent that, you want him to succeed in the rest of the movie.
Okay.
So there's that, at least. And apparently in the original, that was absent. So Cyborg just kind of came in and, who cares, really? Because he's kind of a key character to the overall story. Without Cyborg and the Flash, everyone fucking dies. So they're key characters. They deserve to have this setup for them.
Yes.
Outside of that, and I'm not kidding with the slow-mo stuff, there are scenes that are legitimately like 10 minutes long, fight scenes, that you could probably cut down to like 7 minutes if you just got rid of these slow-mo scenes. So much of the slow motion.
Really?
It is that bad. There's So the scene that particularly stands out in my mind is on the Amazonian island, where the whole idea is that there's these three mother cubes or whatever shit they're calling them. And when the three cubes get combined together by Steppenwolf or Darkseid, whatever other generic villain name, um, they destroy the world. It's the unlife equation.
Anti-life equation.
It's no wonder Marvel got the movie deals first when you really think about it, because
DC has such a
it
problem with
doesn't
names.
it doesn't translate well into film.
No.
Seeing these people say this shit like 2-3 times in the same film, it just gets more and more awkward.
Who are
And
you?
I could see how it would work in a comic. I really could, but it's also no wonder they keep going back to Batman for 90% of their media content outside of the comics.
So when are we getting a full? Oh wait, was okay. The important thing in the Snyder cut, right? I have to ask this.
Yes.
Was arm fall off boy there?
Unfortunately, not.
That is not my cut.
Nope.
Nope.
That is going to be in a potential later film.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it won't be a sequel for Justice League because Zack Snyder has confirmed that there is no sequel for Justice League.
What the heck?
Yep. Like, it's really frustrating. It would be so easy to make this like a good movie if they just set it up better.
Yes.
At the very end of the film, when they have this whole thing with the Joker and, evil Superman or whatever, they could have so easily had it set up so that that's not the first time we're seeing this. Have smaller cuts earlier in the film that establish that Batman is having these nightmares of this hellish place that something completely different but parallel is happening.
Okay.
All you need, like, you open the film with that. Open the film with, a ruined Metropolis and then Batman, jolting awake kind of thing. Something like that to establish that this is something that has been happening to him. This isn't an immediate thing.
I would love it if they
But
opened up.
it just comes out of nowhere.
So it literally is just like one scene. This ruined
No,
Metropolis shows up.
Yes. It is one scene. It is only one scene. And there's so many better ways they could have done it. So the end of the movie, after they save the day, it cuts to what I assume is like an Arkham type of a thing, like an Arkham prison, where it is implied that fuck, I can't remember his name. The Superman's villain guy,
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor, is being held there. And he's in this cell at the end, and there's a man looking at a TV, watching, I guess what's implied being like the events of the super people saving the day again. And they open up the doors to have the convicts, go do whatever, get dinner or go exercise or whatever. And he doesn't move, and the warden guy is like, Luthor, out of your cell, or something like that. He doesn't move. So he gets up, open door 2, and he goes into the cell block area, and he stomps over to him, spins the guy around. It's not Lex Luthor, it's someone else. And he's just like, what the hell? Because it's like, oh my god, Lex Luthor escaped. And then it cuts to a boat, a yacht, like in the Mediterranean, that is Lex Luthor's, and he's on it. And we get introduced to Slade.
What?
Yes.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's Slade.
That's cool and all, but that's so out
Which
of nowhere.
Which is very cool.
Yeah.
I wish they did something with this at the start of the film.
Yeah.
Establish that Slade is a character in this universe. Establish that Lex Luthor has escaped. Because the big thing is that Lex Luthor has called Slade to his yacht to give him information. And Slade is just sort of just like, you've got... and what's really cool is that it's played by Jeffrey Irons, Slade is, which is a great fit.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So it just kind of works.
Yeah.
So he very clearly is like sort of like doesn't want to be there, but is just sort of like, I don't have anything better to do, so I'll hear whatever the hell you have to say. And Luthor has this bottle of champagne out with glasses out for both of them, and he's just like, it's a day to celebrate, have a glass. And he's just like, what do you want with me? And Lex Luthor's just kind of like, okay, fine. And he says basically that they're on the same side, basically, which worked together. Slade's just like, whatever, and he goes to leave. And he says, one more thing, a bit of information. Batman's name is Bruce Wayne.
Whoa.
And then Slade turns around and he goes, well, then I guess it is a day to celebrate. And he goes and he picks up the glass of champagne, which is a very well done scene. That whole scene is very well done.
That's really good.
And then it cuts from there to the destroyed Metropolis that has a host of characters that is Batman, Cyborg, Joker, the female Atlantean that is established as sort of like the second in command to the throne in the... They establish it earlier in the scene, in the film. And Slade, all working together, which does a good job of sort of juxtaposing that, but it's so out of literally nowhere that it's basically meaningless and just confuses things more.
It really does sound like, I don't know, like... It sounds like it's like starting off another movie, like at the very end.
No, they totally did. They completely fucked up. This should have been 3 movies, like the Avengers. The Avengers did 4.
Yeah.
4 fucking movies. This should have been at least 3 movies where you have one that is basically raising Superman from the dead, a second one that is stopping Steppenwolf and Darkseid and establishing this alternate reality where Superman goes fucking apeshit, and during both of those setting up this whole dynamic between Batman and Slade.
Yes.
And Robin, because Joker specifically says you shouldn't have sent a boy wonder to do a man's job, implying that Batman somehow got Robin killed.
What?
But that's also out of nowhere and goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you have a third movie that ties it all back together in, an interdimensional way, or just at least focus more on the
destroyed, ruined Metropolis side. It doesn't work. Even at 4 hours, it doesn't work in one movie because you're trying to do too much. And even if you break it up into 7 fucking parts, Snyder, it still doesn't change you're having a 3-act structure. Because they do that. They have it divided into like 7 or 8 actual parts where it says part 1 subtitle. And all the
No.
subtitles are dumb. They're just dumb.
Okay, I gotta look this up now. I need to know what these title chapters are. I feel like they gotta be edgy. They gotta be so edgy. Oh, it doesn't say. Oh, yeah, there it is. Narrative acts. Don't count on it,
Yes.
Batman.
Yes.
The Age of Heroes. Beloved
Yes.
Mother, Beloved Son.
Yes.
Change Machine.
Yes.
All the King's Men.
All the King's horses.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, on Wikipedia it says All the King's Men.
I believe it's horses.
Something Darker.
Yep.
A Father Twice Over.
Yep. They actually did that. And it's not. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to not only see this movie fail on its own merits, but to see it fail on its own merits and have Marvel do it better.
Well, Marvel took its time. That's the problem.
It did, but even with like a simple hard scene transition like this, they did such a good job in Infinity War and Endgame with their establishing shots of locations with the name of the location superimposed over.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a bit tacky, but it was effective. And it's a hell of a lot more effective than an actual black screen with white text on it. Because that's what they did with these. It was a black screen, hard cut, white text, hard cut, next scene.
What the heck? It sounds
Yeah.
like they were just trying to subvert the Marvel expectation of those scene transitions.
Yeah. It really did.
Um,
I will also say
yeah.
that there is. It seems like in cutting this version of the film, Snyder is still stuck in 2017 where Wonder Woman and Aquaman, mostly Aquaman, are not already further established characters. Because at this point, Aquaman has his whole fucking movie. We know who Aquaman is. And the entire like 15-minute scenes of Batman first meeting Aquaman should have been cut entirely. Because you see Jason Momoa and you know Aquaman.
Yes.
So it completely loses the whole, oh, who is the Aquaman? Because you already know who it is. There's no secret, there's no suspense.
I have a question. How do they resurrect Superman?
So the way they resurrect Superman is they take one of the mother cubes, which is where the change machine title comes, because the whole point of the mother cubes is that they're not good or bad, they only seek change.
What?
And they use don't even get me fucking started. Yes.
They seek to only change.
Yes. And by all 3 of them being wielded by Darkseid is who it ultimately is supposed to be. All 3 of them being wielded by Darkseid together, I guess, is like the most change by literally destroying a planet at like an atomic level.
Do they get to control how
very
these
Thanos,
things
by the way.
change? Yeah.
What's that?
Do they get to control how much these things change? Like whoever uses them? Or
I don't know. They
Yeah.
don't explain. But they call them change machines. So the idea is that they're going to use the mother cube that they have, the third one that Steppenwolf already got the first 2 at this point. So they're going to use the third one. And in a combination of Cyborg's, big hacker man skills to, hack into the machine, which is very... I will say, superheroes in the DC world, it seems like they just gave them whatever powers they wanted to, regardless of if it made sense, compared to Marvel, where there's at least some consistency between what they can do. It seems like in the DC world, it's like, oh, what do we need this person to do? We'll give them a power that lets them do that.
That's literally how Superman used to be written back in like his first few comics.
but it feels like they've taken that and they've stretched it to literally everyone.
Yeah.
So like Cyborg, my primary exposure to Cyborg was through Teen Titans,
Yes.
where he is a cyborg, but his whole thing is that he's able to utilize himself to overcome obstacles, particularly as they relate to technology, but not specifically. You know, he can still like physically alter the form of himself to do these things. Whereas in Justice League, it's literally he can just at will hack into anything and physically traverse the internet in like a physical form.
No.
And it's really weird. Like there's this whole scene that has him looking at like literally walking through a digitized version of a bank, and there's piles of cash everywhere, and like, oh, look at that, look at this tiny pile of only $11, and it goes through the scene of this woman who's very hardworking, cares for her family, but just gets like constant runs of bad luck. She gets evicted, she, you know, has a shitty job and kids that she's trying to care for, and he, you know, takes $100,000 from the big stack and puts it into her stack. And it does this by showing him physically moving these things back and forth, physically interacting with them. And then it cuts to the real world, and he's, you know, it shows the funds popping up on her ATM account.
Congratulations, Cyborg, you're a cyber criminal.
Yeah. Their plan to revive Superman, though, I think that's what we're talking about.
Oh yeah. Sorry, there's so much to keep up with.
They take the Mother Cube, and Cyborg hacks into it to sort of turn it on, and then by the Flash going faster than the speed of light and hitting it, that transfer of energy is enough to like literally give it like a jump start, like you would a car, to turn it on all of the way and push its energy into changing Superman from being dead to alive.
So they literally jumpstart Superman.
They literally jumpstart Superman. But it comes at the cost of revealing where the third cube is to Steppenwolf, who then takes it and starts the process of merging them together to destroy literally the whole world.
Oh my gosh, no.
And this is the really funny part, is that there's this scene earlier on, because what do they call it? Planetary Defenders, I think is what they call them.
Go on.
Fought Darkseid like tens of thousands of years before this and kicked the shit out of him. Because he tried to do this before to get the unlife equation. And they kicked his shit in hard because they literally had gods with them.
Yeah.
It was literally all of the Green Lanterns, all of the Amazonians, all of the Atlanteans, the entirety of some version of the Justice League, and Zeus, and Ares, and they kicked the shit in for him. And he like, they literally basically cut him in half practically, and he has to like flee the planet so he doesn't die, and in doing so he leaves the Mother Cubes on Earth. So they split up the Mother Cubes between the three races of Earth: the Atlanteans, the Amazonians, and the humans, the men. And both the Atlanteans and the Amazonians erect these massive temples to guard the cubes in, and then it cuts to the humans digging a literal shallow grave to bury it.
Well, that's the smartest move there.
And it actually is.
No way.
Because the way that Darkseid or Steppenwolf is able to find where the cubes are in the current day is he has this device that shows memories of people. So he's literally able to like find the Atlantean guard and have it show him where the cube is. So if the humans just dug a hole, you know, millennia ago and left it there, no one would be alive to know where it is. And there'd be no way for him to be able to figure out where it actually is.
Well, aren't you also just like broadcasting where your big important space cube is when you just leave it in the middle of a giant temple?
Yes. That's exactly it.
That's so stupid.
It's really dumb.
Ah.
I'm not a fan of the Snyder cut.
Really? Because you had nothing but glowing
in
praise.
The Flash's story is bad.
Okay.
Because it doesn't set up him at all, even in the Snyder cut. That was one of the things that they did a good job with in Cyborg stories, that they do a good job of showing, you know, what the hell happened to him. How did he go from a normal person to a cyborg person? And it's basically he was a very smart, athletic, caring person and he and his mom got in a horrific car crash that killed his mother, and basically should have killed him, except he, at the bare minimum, he lost all of his limbs. And his father used one of the mother cubes mother boxes to bring him back from the brink of death.
Okay.
And that's how he became Cyborg, which is fine. It gives you something. They give you nothing for Flash. They establish his powers, and that's it.
You're supposed to watch the CW series beforehand, brah.
Apparently. I have no idea where Flash got his powers. He just kind of has them, it seems. And in the one scene that they do that sort of sets up his character, it's kind of like creepily awkward because he's at a job interview and there's another woman who's there who he's like, they're kind of flirting with their eyes back and forth at each other. And then he's inside doing his interview and she's trying to get her car started and there's this big truck and it's barreling down the road. No, the truck driver dropped a sandwich and he's, folded in half, not looking at the goddamn road because he wants his sandwich back. There's a car accident.
Okay.
And she doesn't have her seatbelt on because she's dumb also. Everyone in this movie's dumb. So there's this big car accident where she goes flying out of the roof of her convertible car and, Flash is like, oh my God, I gotta save her. So he does his thing. And in the scene where, it's got everything going in like ultra slow motion around him and he's, saving the day where no one can see him because he's moving so fast. He does this thing where rather than just like grabbing her and putting her on the ground so she doesn't die, he like pushes the hair away from her eyes and is like, it's really creepy. It did not look good. It looked creepy.
Oh my god.
Like, I get what they were going for. It didn't work. It was just creepy. And also he steals a hot dog when he's running.
Is he really a hero?
I don't know. I will say though, Batman has the best line in the movie.
Go on.
When he recruits the Flash.
Okay.
Flash asks him like, so what's your superpower? And he just deadpan turns and looks at him and he says, I'm rich.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's like, yeah, that's valid. That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm having one major problem with this whole plot synopsis you've told me this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
2 words I have rarely heard, if any, come out of your mouth.
Yes.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah. It's a good point. Wonder Woman's character doesn't get much attention. And I think that's because when they did the first Justice League, they knew that she would have multiple upcoming films already. And they didn't necessarily need to, because before Justice League came out, she was one of the few people who actually had her own film. It was Superman had his own film in Man of Steel. Yep. Wonder Woman had her film, and then there's BVS. And then we got Justice League. So Wonder Woman was already an established character. In the broader scheme of the movie, she doesn't do a lot. Like, she's there and she helps, but it's more like how in Infinity War with Black Panther's character. He's there, he helps, but he's not like super pivotal to the overall story, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
She fits in kind of in that role. Like, she's there and she does good work being a superhero, but the story is focused on other people more.
Okay. So, also, does Batman drop the F-bomb?
Really quick, though.
Oh, yes.
I think so. I honestly can't remember. I don't like... I really hate how they did the Flash dirty.
Okay.
Because they used too much slow-mo, which makes his slow-mo seem cheaper. And then, of the Justice League, which is Flash, Cyborg, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and Aquaman, 3 of them are, like, super speed. You have the Flash, where that is his thing. You have Superman, who they have a whole scene where they're trying to subdue him before Lois Lane comes in, where the Flash tries to do his, run around the backside and hit him kind of thing, and Superman just, like, locks eyes with him the whole time, establishing that Superman is just as fast as the Flash, which is kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene early in the movie with Wonder Woman where she is thwarting some sort of a bank robbery, and they do the same shit with her, where she's now so strong and so fast that she's able to use her gauntlets to actively deflect bullets by moving them into the path of individual bullets.
I feel like that's been a thing for a while, though.
It may be, but they didn't show it in any of the Wonder Woman films. Not like this, at least.
Okay.
Like, deflect a single bullet? Sure. Deflect fully automatic rifle fire from multiple people at the same time as you're running in front of a group of school children to stop them from being shot, and then also not be shot yourself? It's like another level. And it cheapens the Flash because it's just like, well, he's fast. They're Flash too. They're fast too. Why do we need this one guy that all he is fast if we've got two people who are really fast at the same time?
Yeah. It's like, why get a fax machine when you can have a printing fax machine?
Right. And it just doesn't add up to me. It's just weird. It's a weird choice.
I do see your problem there.
I'm sure there's more to it than that. Like, the Flash is more than just fast, but they don't show that. They show that he's fast, and that when he's fast, he has, sparky lightning bolts that happen. And that's it.
Superman can go fast without having to worry about destroying the power grid.
Mm-hmm.
So do they do the scene with Flash and Superman, like, running? Like, doing a race?
No. So what it is there's a scene with Wonder Woman and Aquaman where they're sort of like holding Superman down, and the Flash goes to like run behind him.
Yeah.
And Superman, it very like pointedly has Superman following him, watching him the whole time, as in like, I know where you are, you're not going to get the drop on me.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Because I remember seeing trailers for the original Justice League, and they straight up had a scene where Superman and Flash were like getting ready to start a race.
I don't remember anything like that.
Okay.
Maybe I'm like missing something here, but there's never like a chance for that to happen.
Lame.
Mm.
This movie sounds like such a cluster.
It really is.
You know what I kind of want to compare it to? Do you remember this little known film called Avengers Age of Ultron? Where they too tried doing a million things at once, but it wasn't that bad.
Right. Because at the end of the day, even going back and I rewatched Ultron recently, actually. And rewatching it, it's by far not the best Marvel movie, but it's also not the worst.
Yeah. Well,
it still has well shot, just action that keeps it engaging. There are likable characters with entertaining dialogue that goes back and forth. It introduces Vision as a character who is very interesting and introduces a new dynamic to the team. And then we have the whole thing on Sokovia that is a great blend of character moments, particularly with Hawkeye and Quicksilver. You have tight action through the whole thing, really, really good CG, as well as, like world-ending stakes that are established and very well shown.
Yes.
And yeah, Ultron's kind of dumb and goofy, but like compared to this, there's no comparison. And it respects your time. Like, I think that's the other thing, is that in a home release, a 4-hour anything, even a director's cut, isn't that bad. If you really like something, you can find the time to sit down for 4 hours and just watch something. But that's like most of your day.
Yes.
For a theatrical release, it is not only wildly unreasonable to expect anyone to sit in a theater for 4 hours without a break to watch something like this. It is just bad. A bad idea. It doesn't work. And the only reason I say this is because, like, if this actually released in theaters, which they clearly intended it to, because the whole joke with the fucking black bars, the whole movie's 4:3. The only reason the movie is 4:3 is because they primarily shot it for IMAX, which is 4:3, which you can only watch in a theater. So the only reason to keep it 4:3 is if you ever expect it to see a theater screen in IMAX at some point.
Yes.
And it never will. So it has no point. Like, yes, thank you, Snyder. Superheroes do tend to be more vertical than horizontal. That is an astute observation. Unless you have more than one of them on screen. At which point, you need more horizontal space than vertical. And what do you know? In your ensemble cast movie, you tend to have more than one character on screen at a time.
Is Darkseid ever in this movie? Like, physically shown?
Yes, he is shown. In the best, I don't know if I'll call it the best scene. One of the better scenes that they have is the Defenders of Earth prequel exposition dump thing that they do. That does show Darkseid. Darkseid, I don't even give a shit. Shows him fighting the Defenders of Earth, and it establishes what the mother boxes are. It establishes that the Green Lanterns are still a thing, because that's kind of questionable. They mention it a few times, but like none of the current Justice League know what the fuck a Green Lantern is.
If DC had their way, you wouldn't.
Would they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one saw that movie.
No one saw that movie. But it does show Darkseid. It shows him. It establishes who he is, and it shows that he is, not just a guy. He is more than a person. He is very powerful. But they were more powerful, so they beat him. And then at the end again, during Steppenwolf trying to bring the boxes together again to destroy the Earth again, a portal opens up, and you get a good shot of Darkseid and his right and left hand people, as well as their armies, ready to take the Earth basically after it goes off, kind of thing. I will say, I don't know who the hell did this. Who in their creative department? Maybe this is just what Steppenwolf has already looked like just always looked like. Let me see if I can pull up some images from the comics. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I think I know.
He doesn't look like this at all. He looks exactly like the big bad machine in the first Thor movie.
Oh,
exactly. It is like identical. If you showed someone on the street these two pictures, they would not be able to tell the difference, because it is exactly the same. It's the exact same full silver body with the interlinking plates that are super strong with the horns. It's 1-to-1.
Yes.
And that's not what Steppenwolf looks like in the comics. Like, I'm looking it up right now. He looks completely different. And I don't know why they went with that look, because it's confusing. It just makes people think of Marvel, and they think, oh yeah, I could be watching a good movie right now.
Oh, I got a meme for you.
I'm going to send you a few pictures while you do.
Yeah, no, I think you're going to send me the pictures I'm thinking of.
Mm-hmm.
Show me what you got.
What's your meme?
What's your meme? I'm just thinking of like Steppenwolf as like how he's shown in the movie as you, and then the Destroyer armor from Thor, the guy she tells you not to worry about. Oh my gosh.
It is surprisingly hard.
What?
To find a picture of the Destroyer from the Thor movie.
The actual movie
it's
itself?
Not in a Dutch angle.
I have one. I'm looking at one right now.
Here, this is what I think of. So we'll send that one. Oh, nope, I gotta copy that again.
He's very edgy.
This is what I think of when I think of the Destroyer.
Yeah.
From the Thor movies.
Yeah.
It's apparently graded a bit darker in the actual Thor movies.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the idea. And they look almost identical.
Literally almost identical.
Mm-hmm. It's big, shiny silver dude with a horny helmet, and he's got little spikes all over his body, and there's little interlinking plates. It's 1-to-1. And I don't know how they didn't think of that. They should have.
Not many people rewatch Thor 1.
I mean, that's completely valid. It is also not a great movie. It's a lot better than this one, though.
Does it have artistic vision, TM?
It does. Oh my god, it has so many Dutch angles. So.
Yes.
I think that's about it for the Snyder Cut itself.
Really? Because we're only into about 15 minutes of you ranting about the Snyder Cut.
Like, I could go, one quick thing.
No.
I tweeted about this first.
Okay.
The music they use in the film
Yes.
is completely garbage.
What do you mean?
It is you can tell, and I haven't seen the original Justice League. I know this is the case. I'd be shocked if this was anything other than the case. You can tell when something was used in the original Justice League and when it wasn't, because all of the scenes that look like they should be in the original Justice League have fully orchestrated scores with them. All of the fight scenes,
So
all
like
of
they
the
didn't
character dynamics,
reorchestrate
they did
the new
not
scenes?
rescore it. No.
Oh no!
It either has no music, which sucks, or it has like, I don't even know what to call it, like pop music. Not like pop music. Like, this is what we had in our licensed catalog, and it kind of fits the vibe of the scene kind of music. But it's not orchestras. It's like alternative, and sometimes actual pop, and then other times there's just like vocal music that they use way too much, where there's like 3 different scenes in a row. It goes from the Aquaman scene to the Amazonian scene to a different Amazonian scene, and they all have this like sort of throat singing type of music where it's just all vocal, but it's all different, but it all kind of merges together because it's still basically the same.
Ew.
It's not good. And I really didn't like that.
Yeah. Wow.
I think that's all. Keeping in the DC universe, though.
Oh no.
I watched Joker this week.
Oh.
And what Joker has done that Justice League has absolutely failed at is gotten me even more excited for Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Yeah.
Because if Robert Pattinson's Batman follows the same storyline as Joker, which would make a lot more sense, that is something to be excited for.
I think, okay, if we're going to talk about
like if you want a, well, let me see if I can find that review again. Where the fuck did this cunt go? Thrillingly dark. If you want thrillingly dark, go watch Joker. That movie is so fucking dark.
It's
like impressively dark.
Yeah. Joker, I honestly will say, has more of an artistic vision in my eyes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because it's not trying to be a superhero movie at the same time. It is its own thing.
Well, it's trying to be Taxi
really
Driver.
Well. It is so unsettling.
The score for Joker is one of my favorite scores of all time. Like, as a musician with as a guy who regularly listens to music and thinks a lot about how instruments work, everybody should listen to, like, if you're going to watch The Joker, rewatch it again, but this time just pay attention to the music. The music is eerie and beautiful and surreal, and it sounds like a comatose nightmare. It doesn't make you feel real.
No, it is. Joker is a movie I plan to rewatch because it is. I want to rewatch it critically.
Yes.
Because it is worth watching critically.
I mean, I'm not going to.
Especially, like.
Yeah.
Sorry, but like one of the things that really stuck out to me is how well it has aged in the current social climate.
Really?
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Imagine if the events of Joker happened in our world this past summer, where a guy on a train murdered 3 bankers.
Yes. Yes.
That would... Like, it's very real. I could see that happening, and not in a bad way, not in like an I would disagree with these people way. Like, yeah, those are very legitimate arguments and concerns that you are bringing about this, and I can see how this admittedly horrific act is something to be rallied behind as demonstrative of your opinions.
It's such a, like, it's a movie that portrays mental illness in this gruesomely realistic way.
Yes.
And I mean like, gruesomely realistic. It's not like everybody with mental illness is going to go down like the Joker path, but it's like if this was like the worst possible scenario, this is how it would probably play out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was I watched a palate cleanser movie after it, which we will also talk about because it was a really fucking good movie.
Okay.
But it is that unsettling that you kind of need something afterwards to just sort of like even out the emotions of it.
So we both seen the Joker, so I'm going to pretty much say spoilers are off the table. Go watch Joker if you
I
haven't
mean,
seen it.
yeah, it's like a 3-year-old movie now.
Yeah.
3 years old.
Um,
It's a great movie. It's well worth watching. 2019. Yeah.
do you?
I will say
Yes.
it does a great job of not lying in its trailers. Like, it is misleading, but it does not lie.
Yes.
And I like that. I like that a lot. That is how you do something like that to, subvert your audience's expectations without just lying to their face.
Do you? Okay, so a lot of people believe this when they watch the film. Even I believe it. Even when I was watching it.
Sure.
Do you understand the scenes that disconnect from reality, where you're watching everything?
What do you mean understand?
Like, do you understand the scenes where Arthur really just disconnects from reality and he's just living in his own little world and we're just kind of watching what he's envisioning's happening to him?
I can identify them
Yes.
after the fact to
Yes.
a point,
Yes.
but I also think that that's one of the things that makes it so great is that there's that question of, did this happen?
Yes.
Or did he make it up?
Yes. He's an unreliable narrator.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
Yes.
that's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah, unreliable narrator. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. My main concern is, what do you think was reality and what do you think was not reality? Because I've got many ideas of what actually happened versus what was going on in his head.
I don't know. It's really hard to say.
Yeah.
I think that the majority, like more than 80% of what is shown is real.
I agree.
I think there's select scenes, particularly and especially as it relates to his neighbor lady, that
Yes.
he perceives himself to have some sort of a relationship with that he doesn't. Those pretty clearly seem to be entirely fabricated because they basically show that.
Yeah. Well, he never tells her name when they first meet. Yet in all the
Yeah.
scenes after that, she calls him by Arthur.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a
I
dead
didn't
giveaway.
pick up on that, but that's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of the things that happened on the talk show are real.
I believe they are real, but I don't think the aftermath
I-
after the talk show is real.
I would agree. I think that the talk show actually, I don't know, I would actually disagree where I think if the talk show actually happened, the aftermath actually happened. I think there's a direct correlation there where if you see this guy on TV and he just shot the host in the fucking face on live TV, and then you see that same guy in the street, you're gonna fucking idolize him.
Maybe.
But I think in my view, it would have to go one way all the way or one way all the way the other way.
I don't know. I just
So
don't.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Because
That's why I want this Batman movie to be set in that world to answer some of those questions, to have a more reliable narrator, but keeping with that same tone in that same world.
It's a really good tone. It is an unapologetically dark film.
Mm-hmm.
And not like in the sense of like Snyder and his like cartoonishly darkness. I mean, like,
it's very real.
Yeah, it's down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I do not there's my own little theory that every time there's like pop music playing in the Joker, that's when we're in his head, because that's probably what he's hearing.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I get this because at the very end of the film, when he's talking to the therapist about everything that happened, he starts singing the song that's playing.
Yep.
The question is he hearing that song,
Right.
or is the therapist also hearing that song?
That is the question that I ask myself, though, is any of the movie real?
Ooh.
Because there's a big gap between where the film ends and where the scene in the insane asylum starts. That is
Okay.
unexplained.
Very true.
So did any of the movie actually happen? Or is that just something that he fabricated while he was in that interview in Arkham?
That's a good question.
And they don't answer that, which is fine. It sets it up very well for, a future entry into that series, but
Would you be happy if it just didn't have any conclusion? If this was all just left to
Yes.
interpretation.
I would be, yes.
I think so too.
I would look at it in the same way in a vacuum as like The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger as the Joker.
Yeah, no, I felt like Joaquin Phoenix was a lot like that performance.
Oh yeah, it's got the right elements of the actual acting itself,
Yes.
with the incredibly well done direction and cinematography and writing, to the point that it holds up on its own. It doesn't need a cinematic universe to be validated. It is valid in its own right.
That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah.
The one problem I have with the Joker, right, is I'm not exactly a fan of the Wayne scenes, with the Wayne family.
I don't know. I haven't. So my personal extent of background with DC in general, but with Batman, is primarily the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight series.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah. Outside of that, I don't really have any exposure to what the Waynes are supposed to be like, I guess you could say.
I mean, I just wish it was more of an isolated thing. If like, I don't mind that they're in the movie. I just wish Thomas Wayne would be like this big background figure that the city keeps getting more and more agitated with.
I agree with that. I would have rather Wayne been what is talked about rather than what is shown.
Yes.
So then having the scene in between Wayne and Joker in the bathroom together would be more impactful, I think.
That could have been a lot better, yes.
Because you have this, this larger than life figure that everyone talks about, that's always in the news but is never shown. And then he's there and he's just a guy and he's just like, the fuck are you talking about? Get out of here. I don't want to even look at you.
Interesting.
I think that would do a really good job of going into the next scene to like fully transition from Joker being just sort of like, on the sidelines with the cultural revolution that they have going on, to being personally involved with it.
Good point.
But I still think the way that they did do it is it works. I don't have a problem with it, even if there is another version of it that could have done that better.
I think another one of the scenes that really made my skin crawl, was the scene with Arthur and young Bruce Wayne, where he like forces him to smile.
Yes.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yep.
The scene where he kills those bankers on the train was also pretty messed up.
Yep. No, that was like it does a really good job of showing the difference between like the Joker's actions being justified on the train to being completely not justified soon after.
Oh yeah, no, there's like a point where it literally is just defending yourself to him just lashing out.
Yeah, I thought that was very well done to show, like visually show him breaking. Like where does he break? It's right there.
Yeah,
he's a different person at that point.
And then he goes to the bathroom and dances.
Yep.
He celebrates. That's the score during that scene where he's dancing is so creepy. I love it. Just like this low droning cello.
Yep.
Joker, good movie.
Great movie. It is.
Do you believe? Okay, so a lot of people
possibly better movie. Okay, no, go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll transition in a sec.
Teases us. Do you remember like all that controversy about Joker when it first came out?
Not specifically, no.
People were worried it was going to glorify incels.
Oh, maybe, but like, no.
No.
Because it does still clearly portray Joker as the bad guy,
Oh, yeah.
It's not saying like this is the right thing to do. It's just showing it as a story.
Yeah. Again, he's an unreliable narrator, and it's like, yeah, you know what it's going for.
Yep.
So
a possibly better movie?
Oh no.
Is Wolfwalkers.
What the heck is that?
It is an animated film from Irish animation studio. Oh, what's it called? Cartoon Saloon and Melusine Productions. oh my god, is this movie gorgeous.
It does look pretty.
It is so beautiful. Their landscapes that they show at the start of it are it's amazing. I've
Hmm.
heard a lot about this. Never actually seen it. It's an Apple TV Plus thing, so most people aren't gonna get the chance to see this, and it's a fucking shame because it looks amazing. Just visually, it's probably one of the best animated films I've seen in a really long, probably since the last time there was a good Studio Ghibli film released. Honestly,
So the red turtle.
yeah, the Red Turtle.
It's got a really interesting art style.
hmm This is the. Oh, I don't save that. I want to copy it. Copy. I love this picture
That is really nice.
because it does such a good job of showing not only the art style but the use of perspective they do to make the world feel bigger than it might actually have been.
I really enjoy the composition of this photo that you sent me.
It's just so nice, and that's a scene, that's a frame from the actual movie.
Yeah.
That's not like a promotional shot. So nice. So the plot of Wolfwalkers is that, do they actually give a date here? I'm curious on that. See if I can find a quick synopsis. It's set in the past, in like Middle Ages, Ireland in 1650 Middle Ages. And this is taking place in a town as well as the nearby forests of a settlement in Ireland. And it follows a father and daughter who have moved from England to help this colony as hunters. The father is, at least. The daughter is still, as the father says, far too young to be doing that kind of thing. Needs to go to school or help out with the village kind of shit. And the idea is that this colony is trying to push out further and further, cutting down the forest to get more land for their sheep, to get more land to farm in. And they have these frequent attacks by wolves. And they hire this hunter to basically kill all the wolves in the forest so they can clear cut it and use the land. And there is a sort of superstition among the people of the town of what they call wolf walkers, that are a people that can talk to and sort of control the wolves. And while the majority of the townsfolk are either scared or angry and wanting the wolves to be killed, there are some that believe them to be good people, and there are even others that have or claim at least to have interacted with them in very positive situations. So like one guy claims that he was attacked by a wolf, and Wolfwalker came and called the wolf off and like just healed him back to normal, back to 100%.
Okay.
And it follows the story of the daughter as she continually tries to sneak out of the town to help her father with the hunting of the wolves, until she eventually comes face to face with one of the wolf walkers. And the wolf walker helps her, heals her of an injury that she ends up getting. She has a pet bird, his name is Merlin, that the wolf walker saves the bird's life as well. And it goes from there as the girl has to sort of come to grips that maybe the wolves aren't the bad guy. But at the same time, if the wolves aren't killed, the lord of the town is threatening to basically arrest her father and throw him in chains in the blockade, in the stockade. And there's a really good story told about that conflict and ultimately its resolution.
That is really cool.
It's just really good. Nominated for BAFTA, Golden Globe, Academy Award for Best Animated Feature.
Yeah.
And it deserves it. It's just so good. And there's like almost no big name actors in it. I'm sure there's like Sean Bean is in it. He plays someone, I couldn't tell you who. Because it's such not a thing. He's probably actually the dad now that I'm thinking of it, but it's like so refreshing to see an animated film like this that is not just beautifully animated, but well written and acted in a way that adds to the animation rather than being distracting from it.
Okay.
I think that's the big problem that I have with a lot of the American releases of Ghibli films, is that it's peppered with big name American actors to put on the box to sell it. And that
Yeah.
can be distracting when you have 10, people who are excellent actors and, critically acclaimed to the moon and back. But it can be distracting, and not knowing or caring who any of the people are lets you focus and enjoy the movie for what it is. Excuse me. It's really good.
I agree. I
It's just
never
such a
really
good movie.
noticed that problem with Ghibli movies until you brought it up.
Yeah, and it's not a problem, but it is there.
Yeah. It is, I don't know.
I would highly recommend this movie. If you have Apple TV Plus or know someone who has it, COVID makes it hard, but it's so good.
What would you rate it out of 10?
9.
How many Snyder cuts would you rate it out of 10?
It is 3.5 Snyder cuts out of 10.
Ooh. I have no idea what that means, but I'll go with it.
I don't know. Maybe that's probably not the right math. Snyder cut for me is like a 4, maybe a 5.
One for every hour.
If it was a regular feature length film, it would probably be a 6 or a 7. But given that it's 4 hours, it feels disrespectful to my time.
Yeah.
So I have to take points off for that.
I would say, like, I can't believe we're going back to the Snyder cut of all things.
It's the thing, right?
I think it would have made more sense to make it just an HBO like series.
Mm-hmm.
Did it have an intermission?
No, it did not.
It needs an intermission.
It easily could have, with the way they structured it around being, 6-7 parts.
Yeah.
But it did not.
That's unfortunate, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. I do plan to watch the original Justice League again soon, just to have a good frame of reference for what it was. But it's rough.
Are you turning into a DC fanboy?
No, I am actively being turned against a DC fanboy.
Come on, man. You just gotta accept that DC is the way to go. Don't question it, man.
I don't know. It's a shame too, because DC. I don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that the DC universe has had some of the best films focused on superheroes.
Oh, easily.
Like, it just does. But the DCEU, it's just bad. I haven't seen a DC film yet that I've liked, that I haven't had some sort of fundamental problem with. Man of Steel is just not a good movie. It's just not. It's kind of boring. It does it does the bare minimum that it needs to do to be a Superman movie, but it's just kind of boring.
Okay.
Especially compared to what you're getting out of Marvel at the same time.
I think it's just a lack of planning.
Yeah. I don't know if it's not a lack of planning as much as it is whoever the hell owns the rights to DC be looking at how much money Marvel is making and saying, I want some of that. And then jumping the gun to try to get to that point.
Oh, it's Time Warner, AT&T, Viacom, Halliburton. Yeah.
Whoever. But compared to compared to like The Dark Knight and Joker, it's just amateurish.
Yeah.
To have like, what was the original Wonder Woman even called? Did it have a subtitle?
No, it's just Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Like, Wonder Woman is mostly fine, except for the end, which sucks. And kind of kills the whole movie because you don't get that big climax that you've been taught to expect by their competition. You have Wonder Woman 1984 that's a mess from start to finish. You have Batman versus Superman, which I haven't seen, but didn't get that great of a reception at the time.
I have seen Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
And it frustrates me to watch that movie because, like, it's boring.
Yeah.
But I can tell there's a good movie in there.
That's the big thing with most of these DC movies is that they're not bad for the most part. It's just boring.
They feel like they're on autopilot for me.
Yeah. And I think they are. They know the beats they have to hit to have a superhero movie, so they hit those beats and they don't do anything more.
I just kind of wish, like, I don't want to make any assumptions on everybody who like works on them, but there feels like there's a lack of passion.
I think on the production side, that's true.
Yes.
From everything I've seen for the actors involved with it, they seem to be putting in as good of a performance as I can expect. I didn't expect to like Ben Affleck's Batman,
Really.
and I do. I think it's a good, fresh take on the character to be shown on film.
I do like the idea of a jaded Batman.
Yeah, he just looks. He looks so tired all the time, and I get that. It makes sense. Would be tired trying to do that shit just being a normal man.
I can't buy my way out of this.
Yeah. The big thing for me that differentiates Marvel and DC is that in Justice League, if any one of the characters died, even Batman, who I like as a character, Wonder Woman in the DC version or in the Justice League version, I like more than in 1984. Like it's a much more competent, realistic character. But I would not give a shit if any one of them died.
Really?
Compared to Marvel, where their whole culmination is this string of emotional scenes of these people dying. And it works because they did the fucking homework, they did their groundwork to make you like them in the first place.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't give a shit if Flash dies because I've only seen him for 15 minutes and he's kind of annoying.
you know what, you're reminding me of something that's a little slightly off topic, but it's like the general premise.
What's that?
Remember how a couple episodes ago I said I started reading Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
Same problem with Hunter x Hunter.
Really?
They'll introduce characters
That's
just
surprising.
for like an arc, and then they'll like explain there's like all these like big stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And the characters will either die, the ones that don't matter, or they'll just stay there and they'll just clog up screen time away from the characters I actually care about.
Yeah.
Like, how do I put this? Okay, so the third arc in Hunter x Hunter, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a training arc, right? There's 4 main characters. Actually 5 if you count the main villain. So 4 good guys. 2 of them are characters we've known from previous arcs, and 2 of these other characters are just introduced in this arc. And then, after that arc, you don't see those 2 new characters ever again. They just take the 2 from the previous arc and they go off.
Interesting.
It really... Hunter x Hunter is such a mixed bag. Stuff I genuinely love, stuff I genuinely hate. What you looking at?
I'm skimming through a Rotten Tomatoes article right now of the upcoming DC movies to see if there's anything to give a shit about.
Oh.
So the next one is going to be The Suicide Squad,
Oh.
which comes out later this year.
Okay.
I don't know. What is there for me to care about this?
Nothing.
Oh no, they had Birds of Prey, didn't they? I guess that's technically a DC movie.
It is. Harley Quinn the movie.
That's the problem for me, is that I want the movie that is just, the ruined Metropolis Justice League. I want that. That would be a good movie. That would be different. Show superheroes in this setting that isn't the real world. Show them in a very different place. That's how you get a dark movie, is you put them in a dark setting. Joker works because you're not in some spotless apartment building. You're in the fucking slums of Gotham.
Yeah. In the poorest parts of Gotham. It's just...
But we're never going to get that. it seems. So, who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
After that, we get The Batman, which is apparently in line with the DCEU Batman, not Joaquin Phoenix Joker Batman.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunate.
Have you seen the trailer for that Batman though?
I believe I like, if it's the trailer I'm thinking of, I did like it.
I really enjoyed it on the grounds that I like their idea of the Riddler.
Oh yeah. Nope, I agree with that. I'm watching it again right now.
Yeah, less corny, campy, and more
Yep, I've seen this.
Zodiac.
Yeah. Like that is what you need to do in order to have a darker tone. You can't just make the film black and white and claim it's dark.
No.
Oh my god, and Jeffrey, is that Jeffrey Wright? I love their choice of Commissioner Gordon.
Oh,
Jeffrey Wright, yes. Jeffrey Wright is just so perfect for the role.
I thought you were talking about the Snyder cut again.
Oh no. No, I mean Snyder cut Commissioner Gordon is fine, but
It's
there's no
J.K.
Jim Jonah
Simmons.
Jameson.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sorry, one sec. I'll be right back.
Yeah. In the meantime, everybody, I'm going to regale you with a quick story. Money, fame, power. All this and more was acquired.
Sorry about that. I had a package just dropped off. That's my bad.
Oh, what'd you get?
I don't know. I think it's just like an Amazon thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand how they can go from Snyder Cut Batman to a younger Batman within the same universe.
Yeah, unless
It just doesn't make sense.
Robert
Visually.
Pattinson does not evolve into a Ben Affleck.
No. I hope that's not what they do. I hope there's like something that we're just not seeing yet, But seeing those words, the fact that this was intended to have Ben Affleck playing Batman, and because of creative differences between Affleck and the director, Matt Reeves, Affleck ended up leaving. It just doesn't evoke confidence.
No, it doesn't.
Even though the trailer looks really good. But after seeing the Snyder Cut trailer, I don't trust their trailers anymore.
I'm really upset we did not get Joker saying we live in a society.
Me too.
Batman.
Like, no lie. That is the only reason that I even considered watching this.
No.
Because seeing that scene is like, that is something I want. I want that dynamic between the Joker and Batman.
Really?
Because it's such a strong dynamic. It just works so well. And they fucked it up.
Oh, man. You know what? They could have started the movie with that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Ruin Metropolis, Joker looking at Batman, and just says, "We live in a society, Batman."
Yep.
That would be enough to have him jolt up.
Yeah, and then he jolts up, and you just go on with the rest of the movie, and then you come back to that at the end of it, with the full scene that they have.
Makes you wonder.
That's not in Snyder's creative vision.
Question.
Yes.
So we know at the end of the original Avengers, they had Thanos show up at the end to like tease Infinity War.
Yes.
What did they have any kind of tease for like future plans besides the whole ruin Metropolis?
There's not. I mean, you can't even call it. It's like, this is gonna be a bit obscene, but it's about as much of a tease as someone giving you a reach around. There's not a tease there. They're just doing it. We didn't get a tease of Darkseid in the future. We had Darkseid multiple times in the movie. There's not an unknown here. We know who Darkseid is. We know he's coming to Earth now because he wants the unlife equation. He knows Earth is where it is now. There's no ambiguity. There's no uncertainty as to who is this person, where is he, why does he care. They've answered all those questions.
I see.
So I mean, it is technically there, but it's in such a different way that it doesn't even matter if we're trying to compare it.
Do you know who they had for Darkseid? For the actor?
I legitimately don't know.
Oh. I gotta figure that out now.
Darkseid. I do think it's hilarious now, though, that if you look up Darkseid, the movies that he's listed in is in Zack Snyder's Justice League ahead of Justice League.
That's pretty good.
So who is the cast? It doesn't say. Thanks, Google. That was helpful. Okay.
Hmm.
Who do we have? Willem Dafoe is Volko. That's not who I want. Do they not have it? They don't have it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Wait.
I mean, there was a person there, but is it like that they just have someone do a voice for it?
Ray Porter.
Ray Porter. Never heard of him.
Me either.
What has he done? He was in Argo. He was in Argo?
He was in Argo.
Fuck was he in Argo? First AD was his role. What?
Wow. He's been in a lot.
Has he?
Like a lot of TV.
Oh, he was in the animated Book of Mormon.
Wait a second.
Do you have the right guy?
I think
Oh, TV, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in BioShock 2. He apparently did a bunch of animated Bible shit in the 90s.
Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. So the rest of what we have upcoming in the DC universe, we have The Flash, which I'm really not looking for. If they make you watch a fucking TV show to understand what the hell is going on, I'm gonna be so mad.
Speaking
That is
of
one of the
which,
best things that Marvel has done.
Yeah.
Is not made you watch anything outside of the core films to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
Aquaman 2, a Shazam sequel, Wonder Woman 3, the other Batman. That sounds like something that'll never happen.
The other Batman?
And way down the list of things that are to be determined, we have Green Lantern Corps.
Oof. Was the Green Lantern in that movie and in the Snyder cut?
A Green Lantern, an unnamed Green Lantern, was shown in the flashback sequence.
Wow.
That is it. And there's a line from Steppenwolf when he first contacts Darkseid to say, I think the unlife equation is on Earth, where he says, basically, Earth's protectors are dead and divided. They fight amongst themselves now instead of us. No Atlanteans, no Amazonians, no Green Lantern, something like that.
Wow.
So, no.
Oh, it sounds like they just jumped into it and tried making up the rules as they went.
They did. That's exactly what they did. They wanted to cut a Marvel's profits, and they didn't give a shit to do anything to set it up.
Nope. Yeah. Hey, did you finish WandaVision yet?
I haven't yet, unfortunately.
Okay. Did you watch any more at least?
No. Not
Okay.
yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just how it is. I'm planning to watch some more this week, but wasn't able to get to it.
I don't blame you when you had such a big mess on your plate as the Snyder cut.
Yeah, I mean, that's 4 hours. That's like all of WandaVision.
Yeah.
Man, who would have guessed that taking side stories that aren't really made for the big screen works better as a part-by-part series to be streamed?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm very curious though if they're going to like use the Snyder cut as the canonical version in the further films.
I don't know. That's the big problem. is that they have like 3 different timelines right now.
Yeah.
Like, did Wonder Woman 1984 happen in the DCEU at all? Because if it did, it completely gets ignored. It was a huge event. Like, literally, world ending catastrophe kind of thing happened. And oh, just sweep it under the rug. We just don't talk about that.
We don't do that here.
We don't do that here. I will say, I think that's one of the best measures of how good a movie is in the modern day, is how many memes people make of it.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit to make a meme about something they don't like. If you look at the Marvel movies, almost all of them have some sort of meme that's come out of them. Even small ones. There's usually something. People try. Joker had so many fucking memes. It's like a who's who of memes. And it's kind of fun knowing all of them to sort of be like, oh yeah, that's where that one is. That's cool.
I mean, how
There's
many
none from
Walking
Justice League.
Phoenix memes did we get?
Like 5?
Yeah.
5 by my count. Because there's like the big ones of him being hit by the taxi. There's him doing his dance on the stairs.
Yep.
There's you get what you fucking deserve. I know I'm missing a few.
The running.
Yep, the running.
What else was there?
I'm skimming Google Images right now.
Same.
I know there's more. I know there's more. Some of these are pretty bad memes.
Smaller Joker.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Where they cut off his torso and they just make him smooth.
Mm-hmm.
I like this one just because how pure it is.
What you got? Show me a meme.
Show me your memes. It is a meme of Joker dancing on the stairs, saying me taking out the pizza rolls out of the oven, and then a smaller Joker, my dog, thinking he's going to get a pizza roll.
Mm-hmm. I've done a search for Justice League memes right now.
Yeah.
The first autocomplete for recommended images on Google is Avengers.
No. Oh, I see it.
There's legitimately none.
Yeah.
Like, just skimming here, there's not any real memes. I guess there was the one from Ben Affleck in an interview, but most of those are more focused around the actual actor, not the material. Same with Henry Cavill with the he was asked in an interview Xbox or PlayStation and he said PC or something like that. That's been a meme now, but that's just Henry Cavill being Henry Cavill. It's got nothing to do with Superman. And then the second most common one after that is Jared Leto's Joker, we live in a society that they don't have in the movie.
Do you think they did that just for the meme credibility?
I don't know. Like, genuinely, yes. I'm sure it was something they decided to do from, like, a marketing perspective. Yeah. That's it. And it's not actually in the movie. That's the only meme that there is.
That's funny.
It's really frustrating. It's really frustrating.
Do you think we're going to get a new Joker, or are we going to keep Jared Leto Joker?
It seems like we're keeping Jared Leto Joker. He's been in Suicide Squad. He's been in Justice League now. I'm pretty sure he was in Birds of Prey.
Oh no.
He was at least referenced.
I mean, I don't mind that we're not getting Joaquin back again, because he one and done. That's fine.
Joaquin Phoenix's?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with that. I just want more from that world. Because that's a much more interesting world than generic, everyone is happy Metropolis.
Well, have you been to Metropolis?
Nope.
Cairo, they literally have a man fall from the sky to solve all their problems.
You're not wrong.
I think you'd be in a way better mood if literally all your minor inconveniences were solved by Superman.
It's a good name.
Thank you. For those of you at home, I've been sending him memes on the down low.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sorry. How could I have forgotten the most important thing of the Snyder Cut?
Oh no.
They got rid of Henry Cavill's mustache lines where he had to shave.
Oh yeah.
Because that was apparently a thing that people were actually upset about. I don't get it.
We are at an hour and a half and we're still talking about the Snyder Cut.
I've legitimately seen the people talk about these things with like the side by sides of like, look how much better it is. It looks almost the same. It's not that different.
I love how daddish his mustache is too.
Oop, what the hell's going on here? There we go. Let's see if I can find some pictures of this. Because like I get it, but it never seemed like it was that bad. Oh, right. That's what it was. It was because he was filming Mission Impossible at the same time. That was a way better movie, but it required him to have a mustache, so they CGI'd the mustache out.
Oh yeah.
And they apparently just airbrushed over it slightly better this time, I suppose.
Oh, weren't you telling me about the blood in this movie like not being as good?
Oh yeah. No, the CGI in this film is terrible. I think most of it is probably just Marvel spoiling us at this point with how good their CGI is, how well they're able to use it. But the CGI is just terrible in this movie. It's just bad.
Well,
it's amateur.
Do you know the Thanos stubble?
The Thanos stubble? I do not.
So Thanos in all of Infinity War has a very thin layer of stubble.
Does he?
Yeah, that's how
in
depth that they went for like Thanos.
You can't really tell.
Yeah, you can't. But
I would believe it.
Here's like a image of Thanos with like it's the lighting that really gives it away. Oh, they won't let me. No, come on, Discord.
Go. I got one for you too. I think I see it now.
You can also see like a little, like he's just got little bits of stubble, and that's how much detail they put in. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm glad they went to the same school of me as artificially adding facial hair onto someone.
Yes. It's just a mustache, PNG right on top of his face.
Just like how I do your beard.
Yep. The thing with the DC ones is that, like, character models are fine. Things that they can do once and sort of just be done with it are generally fine. It's dynamic things that they struggle with. And I legitimately think it has as much to do with them using just inferior software with an inferior, cheaper physics engine. Oh, on his head. Yes.
Well, you can also see a little bit.
I thought you meant on his face, and I was just like, it's all, wrinkly. You can't see anything.
You can see a little bit of stubble.
Yes, I agree.
Under his nose is what I mean. Like,
but like, if you look at Steppenwolf, let's say, let me see if I can find a picture of him without helmet. It's not bad. Oh, that looks way better. Who did that one? Wait, where is this? Assured. Did they redo it for the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, they did.
No way.
Yeah.
That looks so much better.
What, the original Steppenwolf?
You're fucking... Yes!
The non-pointy boy?
Yes! That looks so much better. Why would they do that?
You didn't know that?
No. Oh my god. It's no wonder it looks like shit, because they redid it.
Yeah, dude. That was like a thing on the internet.
Oh my god. I legitimately didn't know that. Original Steppenwolf, like, I'll just say it looks better. It's way better.
He looks cleaner, doesn't he?
Original. He looks eviler. He looks more menacing. because he's got like imperfections, cuts, scratches, stains. He looks like a warrior, not a fucking iPhone 15. It's way better. And it looks original. That's the big thing. It doesn't look like they're just copying what someone else already did.
I mean,
Wow.
the facial structure needs a little more improvement, if you ask me, because he looks a little lanky. But I agree.
I don't disagree. The original one does look thinner and a bit lanky, but like just from the armor. That's what I'm focusing on. That looks way better.
Oh my gosh, is this what you were referring to when you said Steppenwolf without the helmet?
Sorry, I got completely sidetracked. I was trying to find, yes. Like, there's good textures and stuff there. It doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look good.
I didn't anticipate his head to actually be those horns.
Right? But I mean, like, just from like a pure CGI character model thing, the models don't look bad. They look realistic. They're well lit. They're properly lit. It makes sense in the context of the scenes that they're in. It's when you start to get these action scenes where there's, anything dynamically happening that it looks really cheap.
I can see that.
Let's see if I can find some examples. Why does the CGI in the Snyder cut look so bad?
Ouch.
Oops. I don't know how to type, apparently.
Oh wow, here's a side-by-side comparison of Steppenwolf's.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I saw. I was like, wait a minute, is this like a fan thing that someone did? Because it looks so much better.
It looks cleaner. You can tell what's going on.
It looks original. It's fitting. It's so much more fitting for the story too. Because the whole point is that Steppenwolf and Darkseid are like villains from an ancient age when gods were still on the earth, and that fits it so well. That looks Roman almost.
Yes, it does look very, I think, Greek almost, like a Spartan.
Yeah, either way, yep. But it's not just generic pointy boys everywhere.
Oh, I got something for you. In the original cut, that's just you.
Yes.
In the Snyder cut, it's what happens when you listen to Linkin Park once. All the edge.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
Ooh. There we go.
Okay, so maybe you can answer this to me. How does Superman die?
In the original?
At all. In the first place. At the start of Justice League, he's dead. How did he die?
In Batman v Superman, if I remember right. So, the really stupid thing about Batman v Superman is like they set up the fight for Batman and Superman, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the film's climax.
Okay. What is the climax then?
The climax is that Lex Luthor mixed his DNA with Zod to create a Doomsday monster, literally called Doomsday. In the comics, his name is Doomsday, which is all the strength of Zod and all the intelligence of Lex Luthor to kill both of them.
Okay.
And Superman kills himself to kill Doomsday.
So as someone who hasn't seen Batman vs. Superman, who hasn't seen the original Justice League cut, it looks like Superman is killed by Steppenwolf.
Really?
And that Lex Luthor has all 3 of the mother boxes, or one of them, at the start of the film. It really looks like that, and it's really confusing. Because you see this big, just big evil dude killing Superman at the start. They show like some scenes of that. Yeah. As like a flashback, I guess. And then they show Steppenwolf, and it's just like, is that not the same guy? They look identical. They look the same. What the hell? Because, if you've not seen this stuff before this, the brief flashes they do show you, they look very similar.
I don't know, man. It's a big gray CGI hulking monster man compared to another big gray CGI hulking monster man.
Well, yeah, and they don't show him to you like that. It's only like in the background of Superman screaming out in agony.
Yeah.
So you only see him like in the background out of focus once, and it's really it was confusing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. The one person Superman is really scared to fight. Arm fall off boy.
He can lose so many arms.
How do you kill that which can regrow arms?
So here, this is like some of the memes that I've been seeing about the Superman mustache thing.
Yeah.
It's like the corporate wants you to find the difference between these two pictures. They're the same picture.
I can see a little difference with the shading, but that's about it.
I can see a difference, but that's just because the whole scene's lit differently. The one on the left has a much more orange lighting to it in general on everything.
You're right.
It's just lit differently.
You're right.
I don't know. It's weird.
It is weird. What's weird is we've been on this movie for an hour 45 minutes.
Sorry.
We can almost do our own commentary of this film.
This is Two Schmoes Show, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, this is the Snyder Show.
Yeah.
And you want to hear something?
Finding any examples of the siege, I'll have to rewatch it and see if I can find something to screenshot.
One of my favorite things to come on the Snyder Cut is there's a DC writer called Scott Snyder.
Mm-hmm.
And people have been honestly mixing him up with Zack Snyder and calling him up on Twitter. It's like, hey, good job with that movie, man. Batman was my favorite character. And he's like, yeah, I write a good Batman, don't I?
That is amusing.
What? Oh, mixing up the names?
Yeah. It's like the same people. Oh, what was that? One of the YouTubers I follow, Gus Johnson, tweeted out at somebody who has the @GusJohnson Twitter name and was just like, hey, if you could give me your name, I'd really appreciate it. You haven't done anything in 11 years.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it for the Snyder Cut. Is there real news this week? I don't think so.
There's not any real news.
There's not real news. There's nothing releasing this week. It's just all Snyder. I mean, I guess I'll give them that. They picked a good week to release it, right?
I mean, yeah, there's a reason why it didn't come out during the summer.
Yeah.
Because you know what DC's probably afraid of right now?
Marvel releasing literally anything.
I was about to say Black Widow.
Oh yeah, you're right.
When
does Black Widow release? What date is that?
May 7th.
May 7th. Okay, so the Suicide. God, they did the Fast and Furious thing to it. You notice that?
Yeah, the Fast and the Furious.
They went from Suicide Squad to the Suicide Squad to same thing, Fast and Furious to the Fast and the Furious.
Yes.
Quick, we need a title. Let's do the same thing, but we put the in front of it. No one will know.
Genius. Give that man a raise.
Give that man a raise.
This is going to be a rough year for DC.
Mm-hmm.
Because 2 months after Black Widow, Shang-Chi.
What's that?
That's another Marvel movie.
Oh, I have not heard of that. What's it called?
Shang-Chi.
Spell it.
Yeah. SHANG hyphen CHI.
Ah.
Yep. In the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I have heard literally nothing about this.
Yeah. Well, there's been nothing to talk about with it.
But it comes out this year.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this too comes out before the Suicide Squad, so I think they're still okay.
And then after that, they're releasing the Eternals.
That's the problem with trying to compete with Marvel, is that they have so much going on with so many different people compared to DC that it's just a completely different level.
Well, it's almost like they wrote all their movies at once so they could plan out the big plot. So they can just
send... idea. They're cohesive plots? Things making sense?
Everything is so well planned out, they can literally just go out, film it real quick, and then edit it together, and it will all make sense.
As an aside, I think that, like, from the onset, I knew that the Snyder Cut, Justice League in general, was going to be bad because of how bad their title sequence was.
Really?
To Marvel's. The Marvel comic books into actual action CGI stuff, that title sequence,
Yeah.
compared to DC's version of it, makes DC look like a bunch of fucking clowns. Marvel's so much better.
Also, after the Eternals, literally 1 month later, the Eternals come out November 5th. 1 month later, December 17th, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like,
Damn, so that's 4 more movies?
4
this year?
movies this year
Oh my god.
against the Suicide Squad.
Against the Suicide. Hey, Suicide Squad was the highest grossing rated R film of all time or some stupid shit.
Who cares?
Literally no one cares because every single compared, like, that's the kind of thing where you know that you're kind of reaching when you have to like sub categorize yourself to win an award.
You want to know what else? Oh, Venom 2 got delayed, by the way.
Oh, what a shame. How will we go on?
I know, it's no longer June 25th to September 2021.
Hmm.
You want to know why?
Why?
Because Fast and Furious 9 was on the same weekend.
Oh, I mean, that's a good reason. Like, I don't know why it is at this point, but people eat that shit up.
I don't know why it happens.
All of the Fast and Furious movies after, like, 6 have been kind of bad. Like, the only good one in the last 5 years has been Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the Fast and the Furious people in it. It's just John Cena, or no, not John Cena, The Rock and Jason Statham just being themselves, and that is objectively entertaining.
So, yeah. I don't know how DC is planning to handle this year.
It sure looks like they're planning to just not.
Oh, and that's not on top of, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Hawkeye also
I
coming.
forgot about Loki.
Yeah.
I have heard some not so nice things about Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It's about a boat, brah.
It sounds like it's just a little bit imperialistic, a little bit, American military-industrial complex apologia. Just a little bit.
Are you implying, good sir, that our military industrial complex isn't the heart of this economy?
No. No. But it doesn't need to be the only thing. To be fair, complete disclosure here, I've not seen it. I don't plan to see it. It just doesn't look that good to me.
Yeah.
This is just all I've seen on Twitter. And Twitter is usually, exaggerated to hell. So it's probably not that bad.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, Twitter would never exaggerate. That's Reddit's job.
No, I just was looking at the Black Widow knowledge panel. Guess what the audience rating of a movie that's not even out yet?
What's that?
4.8.
Out of
5.
Oh, that's really good.
It's not even out yet. There's no one seen this movie yet. This is all just the audience like giving it high praise because they want to see it.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't like go out of my way to like rate a movie or something like that, but like it should be an interesting movie.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone wants to know what they're planning to do with it since she's dead, right?
Yeah. I really don't know. I'm excited for it.
Same.
Yeah. Also, guess what? It's the first movie they're running out the gate with in 2022.
It's Doctor Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, that really
Yeah.
highly anticipated movie.
Yeah.
Starring one of the most... Wait, no, actually. Never mind. I was wrong.
No?
Thor Love and Thunder is the first one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Who's directing it?
Taika Waititi again?
Oh, yeah. Okay, no, that's fine then. He did good.
Yeah.
I just don't want another Thor 2.
No, I fully believe in that man's vision.
Oh, God, and then we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. We have Morbius. Captain Marvel 2. Damn, they don't stop.
No, it's almost like that whole year that they had to take off. They were working.
Yeah, they weren't having the director that they had to let go halfway through the movie put together a new cut of their film because the internet cried about it enough.
Yo, when are we getting the Stan Lee cut of Avengers?
I mean, yeah, basically.
Marvel just needs to chill and just redo their movies for us with a little more lore context.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, Infinity War could probably use a recut.
It would Does it, though?
No.
I mean, that's the question, right? It doesn't. They did it right the first time.
Yeah. I don't think... Okay, maybe Thor the Dark World could use a recut.
Yes. I would love to see both. I would love to see the Hulk and the first two Thor movies recut. Because they have not aged well.
Really?
Yeah. The first Thor movie in particular was fine the first time I watched it, but having seen what they've been able to do since then, it's just not good.
Is it not, huh?
Nope. It's just not. I want it to be good, it's just not.
That's rough.
And part of that is, like, if you're comparing the first Thor to literally anything in the DC world, it's just as good, probably better. It's just comparing it to itself. It's just clearly not as good. And the critical reception shows it,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Why don't we have a trailer for the Eternals or Shang-Chi, but we have one for Black Widow?
Do we not? I thought I saw one.
Do we?
Let me go back. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I don't know. This one says official trailer. Is it actually an official trailer?
Probably not. Does it literally say Marvel Studios on it?
So this is not a good sign. It says Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, official trailer 2021. It was uploaded September 5th, 2019.
Ooh.
I think that's a giveaway.
Yeah, I think they've been found.
Apparently there was a Super Bowl. Oh, okay, so this is another concept one.
Yeah. I assume there's not at this point.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're planning on delaying some of these themselves. If they don't like where it's going.
They seem to have
needs to release.
They seem to have their hearts set out on Black Widow being the opener.
Wait, do they have a cast already? Oh no, Angelina Jolie, really? Oh no.
What, you don't like Angelina Jolie?
Don't dislike her, but I haven't liked her in anything recently.
Huh.
She hasn't done a ton though, in fairness. I don't know, it's just been a while since, what was the last time I saw her in a film? Angelina Jolie. Yeah, okay, Maleficent was not my thing.
Was not your thing?
Nope. Salt was fine. Tourist was fine. I guess it's been a while since I've actually seen her in a recent film. Alright, I'll give it a chance. I just really didn't like Maleficent. It was an interesting idea, I just didn't like it.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. In real news,
there's real news?
Western countries have announced sanctions against China over the treatment of Muslim Uyghur minority group.
Good.
That's literally it.
That's the only news today?
It's the only news today. I mean, there's other stuff, but it's all boring.
Oh. Lame.
I can skim it real quick to see if anything's changed.
Did you hear about Major Biden?
Major Biden, no.
Apparently he bit someone at the White House because they were getting a little too close to him and they were a stranger. So he had to be...
Like the dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he have to be put down?
No, he just went home.
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Imagine having to put down the first dog.
Second dog now.
Oof.
Oh, one sec here. I'm looking at this article. Apparently he didn't bite someone like that hard.
Yeah.
Biden is setting the record straight regarding Major's biting incident earlier this month. During an interview with Good Morning America, George Stephanopoulos, Biden said Major did not bite someone and penetrate the skin, elaborating that his dog was a rescue pup and getting acclimated to a new home. You turn a corner and there's two people you don't know at all, and he moves to protect, but he's a sweet dog.
That's good.
Last week, the White House said the Biden family dogs Major and Champ are temporarily back in Delaware while the First Lady is traveling following an incident where Major caused a minor injury to an undisclosed person. Major was surprised by an unfamiliar person and reacted in a way that resulted in a minor injury to the individual, which was handled by White House medical unit with no further treatment needed.
Yay.
He was going home, Biden said. I didn't banish him to home. Jill was going to be away for 4 days. I was going to be away for 2, so we took him home. I love how just, like, done with that line of questioning that sounds. It's like, no, he's not gone from the White House. We just weren't there to take care of him, so we put him somewhere more familiar. Could you fuck off?
Oh, that is pretty funny.
So, yep.
You know, Fox News probably had a scandal about how Biden doesn't train his dogs.
I'm sure they did.
Oh, yeah. Is that it for the show today?
I do believe it is.
Well, congrats, everybody. We all made it through the Snyder cut.
We did it. We're not dead. Yay.
It bothers me because we just had like this
Only
very
dead
thorough
inside.
discussion about a movie that's almost like a majority of this episode. And it's only been 2 hours. The film
Right.
is twice as long as our discussion of it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I guess that just goes to show how much is like broken with it, right?
Who knows, man? I need to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted us to do like movie commentaries where we just record while we're watching a movie and give our thoughts.
Yeah. Be a good one for it.
Yeah. Be forever. Ugh. Anyway, I'm the infamous Orion, and I've had an artistic vision.
I'm Cairo, and I've been a Schmo.
And this has been the Two Schmo Show. Play me out, Batman.